Hey, what's going on? This is Justin Glover, and I was actually going to shoot this video driving, but I figured that probably might not be the safest thing to do, so I went ahead and pulled over, and I'm going to shoot it here. So this is the first part one of a three-part free content series that we're going to be giving you guys over the next few days. And this free content series will really help you. The purpose of it is to help you take these last 3 months of 2014 and really end 2014 with making it the best year ever. So regardless of whether you're just starting out and you're wanting to start an online business and really make the most of it right out of the gate here in these last 3 months of the year, or if maybe you've got a business and kind of grown stagnant a little bit and you're wanting to pick up some momentum going into 2015, or if you've already got a business, you've got some good momentum and you're really just looking to refine and make everything else that you do for the rest of this year and going forward work a lot better and be more profitable, then regardless of which one of those you fall into, this actual series will help. So it's going to be pure content. The way it's going to be laid out is this first video, I'm going to teach you a simple concept, kind of give you the beginnings of it. The second piece, we're going to go a little bit deeper. And then the third piece, we're actually going to do live, so we can actually answer some questions for you and really take some time to go super deep on everything. So we're going to try to keep these first couple of videos fairly short, just so we don't take up too much of your time, but really give you some solid value that you can actually get a lot from and put to use immediately. So part one is going to be about your approach. I'm going to give you some high-level stuff. That's what this video is, and it's called Know Your Approach. Because every single successful entrepreneur, every single successful business owner, they have two common characteristics. They have two things that, hands down, regardless, they always do. And that is, number one, they have a proven process that they follow. And number two, they have discipline to follow that process. So we're going to go into depth about that concept in this video. We're going to go a little bit further into depth in the specifics of the process in the next video, and then we're going to really touch on the discipline to follow through, because as we know, it's not always as easy as just buying something and everything falling into place. If you've ever bought a product and not followed through, or not followed it through to completion, there's a reason why. And we're going to really spend some time, especially on the live webinar, helping you actually do that. And then also give you our process that we use to build 6- and 7-figure businesses on the internet. So that's sort of where we're going here. I do have just a couple of notes to make sure I don't actually miss anything. So let me grab those. Because there's a couple of things that you need to know. Now, this is about those two things, all right? You've got to have a process to follow. And then the second piece is discipline to follow through. So keep that in mind. Now, I'm going to give you a more specific approach example tomorrow, along with the video. I'm going to give you a little snippet of video of talk that I did, where I really give you my approach to building businesses online specifically. And if you're here, that's likely what you're interested in, to building a business online, using the internet to actually help grow your business. And I'm going to give you the approach that I follow, that I would follow if I was starting out, and really dive into why approach is so critically important. But for now, you really need to know that that is the way it sort of works, the way that everything works, right? So you can look at this as business as you know, from your business as a whole. So you have to have a process to follow, and then discipline to follow that process. But also within your business, there's things that you do, and every one of those things, every one of those components, they follow this same template, all right? Each thing has a process for it, and you have to have the discipline to follow through. That's what makes that particular thing successful. And then those particular things, all of those components combined, that's what gives you the successful business. So you've got to understand this first. It's literally how everything works. Now, one of the other things is that not any process will do. It has to be the right process. It has to be followed in the right order. Okay, so the right process in the right order. It's like baking a cake. You know, you've got to have the right ingredients, and you have to put them in the right order. Otherwise, your cake's not going to taste very well or look very well. you know, as a practical example in our industry, in our business, we're going to be doing a webinar. But if I led and gave you the content that we're going to be covering on the live webinar, if I gave you that first without giving you this, it just wouldn't make much sense. This, what we're covering today, you understanding that there's a process and the discipline, that is sort of the foundation for everything. Until you understand that, none of the other stuff is really going to be helpful. It's going to be insightful, but you're going to drop the ball on it. And chances are, you know, if you're like anything like me, you've already experienced this firsthand. You know, you've gotten some really good stuff, got some ideas, and thought, oh wow, that sounds amazing, or I can see how that would work for me, but for whatever reason it didn't. And that's primarily because the lack of understanding of this. You have to have the right process, follow it in the right order, and that follow through takes a lot of discipline. We're going to really spend some time on that and give you some resources on the live training that we use, that you can actually, that will help with the follow through part of it. So it just wouldn't make sense what we're doing here if we gave the stuff to you out of order. So I'll give you another example. If you want to make money online, you got to know what steps to actually take and then what order to take them in, right? So you got to know, you can't buy traffic before you have something to sell, all right? That just, it doesn't make sense. And we all know this, I think. So that's really why the process is so important, having the right process. But like I said, the process is only the first of two things, all right? The second thing is the discipline to follow through, all right? Follow through is absolutely key. And to be honest with you, most people just don't have it. It's not that they don't have the desire, it's that they've never been taught, all right? And again, it goes back to the example, if you've ever purchased something and not followed through or quit before it was over or whatever, it's not because you didn't want that result any less, right? It was simply because you've never been taught how to actually do this. And there's things that we can go into, the specifics like triggers and inevitable thinking, certain things that it takes. This is the how of follow through. And if you don't understand these things, which we're going to go into depth in the next piece and then on the live training, if you don't understand that, then you're not going to follow through. So I just wanted to share that with you. And again, those are two things. So the inevitable thinking, all right, if you want to follow something through, you have to put what I call inevitable thinking. And I got this concept from Evan Pagan. And basically, it's when you want to accomplish something, you think, all right, what would make it inevitable that I do it? So it's basically getting leverage on yourself, right? So things like accountability partners and things like, you know, consequences if you don't do what you say you're going to do. Those things work to an extent, but that's only a piece of it. All right, there's another piece that has to do with triggers. You have to be triggered at the right times, because we all have moments when we get down or we just don't, you know we need to do something, but we don't do it. All right, if we have triggers put in place, and the right triggers and put in place in the right way, that will remind us and really spur us at the right time, then it's going to almost guarantee that we follow through and we do what we say we're going to do and what we set our minds to. Now, so that's the first piece of this whole puzzle. All right, process to follow, discipline to follow through. All right, this is step one. You have to understand this. Now, in the next piece of content, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into process, and I'm going to give you some of the first steps. And I'm going to use if you're in business and online business, then I'm going to use that as a specific example. And we're going to dive a little bit further into that, and then also a little bit further into the accountability part. But that's it for this video. What I want you to do is actually just think about what your process is. If you have one, if you don't, you're definitely going to stay tuned and pay attention to this this next piece of content that we give you, and then definitely attend the live training. And the second thing that I want you to do is go ahead and register for that live training. Go ahead and sign up for it. There's a link here below this video. Go ahead and register, set your alarm, make sure that you attend, because we're going to cover a lot of stuff. We're going to make sure that you really have the absolute best chance to end 2014 as your best year possible, and really go into 2015 with a ton of momentum, teach you how to get everything set up. So again, this will apply. This 3-part content series will apply regardless if you're brand new or if you've been doing this for a while, you've already got a business set up and you just want some momentum going into the next year. So again, go ahead, do that now. Register for the free training. We're going to do it live. My partner Brenda and I are looking very much forward and excited to deliver this content to you. And that's all for this video. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll speak soon.